Tell your doctor if you have had it, as it could come back. Kesimpta can cause serious side effects, including infections. While no cases of PML were reported in RMS clinical trials, it could happen. Tell your doctor if you had or plan to have vaccines, or if you are or plan to become pregnant. Kesimpta may cause. The most common side effects are upper respiratory tract infection, headache, and injection reactions. Ready for an at-home treatment with dramatic results? It's time to ask your doctor about Kesimpta.
Attention, everyone on Medicare. You may qualify for new Medicare benefits. Did you know that you may be eligible to get up to $148 added back to your Social Security check every month?
Just call 800-421-6435 now.
Call now to get a and see if you're eligible for new Medicare plans with Medicare approved benefits including dental, vision, hearing, and coverage. You may also qualify for a plan with $0 deductibles and no copay. Just call the toll-free number on your screen now to see if you qualify for new Medicare plans that may include free eyeglasses, free hearing aids, free meal delivery, free prescription drug delivery. You don't get these benefits automatically. Call now.
Just call 800-421-6435 now. That's 800-421-6435.
And Iman, I see those looking good.
Oh man, over this way.
Little girl.
The new series, We Got Love, Tiana and Iman, premieres with back-to-back episodes Wednesday at 10, only on E! Set your DVR.
In the early evening of October 30th, Edwin Hawes had been unaccounted for approaching 24 hours, and the suspects are Edwin's brother and sister. There is no question. We want to find and talk to Andrew and Elizabeth Hawes.
We went to Andrew Hawes' residence.
Andrew lived at that home with his grandmother, but there was nobody home. Detective Showborough and I then traveled to Minneapolis, where Elizabeth Hawes lives with her husband, Dan Romick.
We told Mr. Romick that we were looking for his wife and his brother-in-law. Mr. Romick denied knowing where any of them were.
By this time in the investigation, late in the evening after 10 p.m., we have our task force conducting surveillance on both Andrew's and Elizabeth's homes. We also begin drafting search warrants for those homes.
We had contact with Andrew, Elizabeth, and Edwin's mother. It was apparent that Demetria and her relationship with Edwin had also been fractured. She really believed that Andrew and Elizabeth were right in their anger and hatred towards Edwin. And we learned how he became the villain to his family. It was bizarre.
Now, the business was worth a lot of money. Could have been worth $1 million. The family would trust Ed implicitly with anything.
Then Andy found a second set of books. He thinks that Ed had been swindling some money from the family business over the years. He was definitely.
Andy, he built a big business. And it was
Elizabeth and Andy scheduled a meeting for the whole family to sit down to go through what happened with the family's money, and everybody showed up except for Ed. Changed his phone number, never came back to the office. He made himself appear to be guilty by his actions.
Elizabeth could not reconcile missing money. She was certain that Edwin was a bad guy.
There was going to be an inevitable escalation for the family because Elizabeth was very protective of Andy, and if the brothers ever got into an argument, Elizabeth was always on Andy's side.
After that, everything changed. Elizabeth came in and started working in the office. It was mayhem at the shop.
It's shorter after that. It got much worse. There were allegations that Edwin had stolen this money from his grandmother.
And had been the primary force managing the business finances and the grandmother's finances.
The money from the family was gone, and there would have been a significant amount of money left behind for the Hawes siblings.
It was a huge amount of money. They accused him of stealing. They cannot understand what happened.
From that moment, it was Ed versus the rest of his family.
Numerous people, and it was pretty clear that Elizabeth made sure everyone that they had come in contact with knew that Edwin was a liar and deceitful.
Andrew had gone to a number of law enforcement agencies. There was never any proof of money. Edwin Hawes was not a particularly good day trader. At the end of the day, the family had given to Edwin Hawes the ability to access some family money. And there's records that would suggest he lost money, family money, day trading. That is a very different thing than embezzlement or theft.
This obviously upset with that their brother was not going to be held accountable by the law.
And he told me that he needs to do something about it at all costs. And his anger at Ed just kept getting more and more and more. And then their dad killed himself.
How much deeper, darker can this get?
Their father had committed suicide a year prior to. It was speculated that the stress of the fracture in the family had certainly been a part of the reason for why he committed suicide.
Elizabeth and Andy were really sad, and Elizabeth was losing it.
And the people in Andrew's life let him vent, and they let him continue to rage and boil towards his own siblings. We began researching further and found Andrew Hawes had a girlfriend, Christina Dornaden, and she had her driver's license registered to an address in southwestern Minnesota, Cottonwood County. That is rural country. We contact law enforcement in Cottonwood County, and the chief there explains that he knows Andrew Hawes has a farm in the neighboring township.
The police chief asked Cottonwood County deputy and a state trooper to immediately respond to this farm to see if Andrew's there.
In 2008, I was working as a trooper in the state of Minnesota. My primary area was in Cottonwood County. On the 30th of October 2008, it's just about Halloween. I was just out routine traffic patrol, and I received a call to do a little further investigation of a property out in rural Minnesota. As I pulled up to this site, it was kind of an eerie scene. Saw a pretty massive fire, and there was a female, not right next to the fire, but nearby. She told me that her name was Elizabeth Hawes. She was acting odd. The cop part of me was saying, what do we got here? I heard some sizzling noise coming from the fire, and we hadn't any recent rainfall, so it would lead me to believe that they're burning wet wood. And there was a pitchfork next to the fire. So I picked that up and poking around the fire, moving things around the pitchfork. I didn't expect to find human remains. Here I am looking at a skull.
Prosecutors say he is obsessed.
I'm shocked. I want to know what happened to it.
Dateline Secrets Uncovered. Hosted by Kate Snow and Greg Melvin. New Thursdays at 8.
Come in for lemonade.
can't make you leave your acne alone, but we can help get rid of the spots that your acne left behind. Different Dark Spot Correcting Serum has clinically proven dark spot fading power without a prescription. Do things different.
How did Kellogg's combine with a touch of honey, plum, juicy raisins, and tasty fiber into one delicious cereal? It took a lot of brainstorming. Get it? Kellogg's Bran Crunch. 2 scoops of delicious. Aha! Looks like you're in the dancing to the beat of my own drum stage, baby. We're Huggies. We got just what you need. I've been through all of your moves. That's it, kid. Dance like nobody's watching. Huggies. We got you, baby.
Finally, a makeup made just for us.
Age Perfect Foundation by L'Oreal Paris. A super hydrating serum enriched with vitamin B3 in a lightweight formula.
It doesn't settle into the line.
Age Perfect Foundation by L'Oreal Paris.
We are worth it.
Other delivery apps add surprise fees, but Domino's is adding up to $15 million in surprise fees to online delivery orders. And they tried some unique ways to tell people they're getting free food.
But I feel good. I don't know about you, but I feel good. I feel good. I feel good.
Sometimes you just gotta give the people what they want.
I feel good.
Helen knew exercise could lower diabetes. Right for her. No. No. No way. But then Helen went, no. No. With Freestyle Libre 14-Day, now she knows what activity helps lower her glucose and can see what works best for her. Take the mystery out of your glucose levels and lower your A1C. Now you know. Freestyle Libre 14-Day.